Welcome to Shomach Shav on the Daf. Your sponsor, Nishmas Haim B'Yaakov Shalom Le'Abba Sitzchok. We're holding Metzia Daf Tes. The Gemara in the end of Amud Aleph says that there's a concept, Ein Darkon Shibnei Adam. People don't do things a certain way, and therefore it does not work as a Kinyan. So says the Gemara, Rav Ashi asked Rav Kahano, Hamagbia Arnike B'Shabbos, someone who picks up a wallet on Shabbos. People usually don't pick up wallet on Shabbos. It's usher to pick up in Shus Rabbim. So Achinami Delekoni, so you won't be koining because that's not the normal way. And the Gemara proves from here, people do it, and that it does work as a Kinyan. So the Metzia asks a question. He says, we know what the Gemara in Tumura brings the Shita of Rava, that called Milse Domach Mono Loisavit, anything the Torah said not to do, Ovid loy me'ani. Rava's Shita says, if the Torah says not to do something and you do it, it won't work. Because if the Torah says not to do it, that will prevent the thing from happening. So asks the Metzia, if a person is picking up a Metzia on Shabbos, he's over Isser. He debates if it's Isser D'Oraisa, Isser D'Rabanan, but he's over Isser. If he's over Isser, he should not be koine. The Gemara says, Kedavar Pashut, that for sure, a Magbia Metzia b'Shabbos is koine. Why is he koine? It's something you're not allowed to do. So there's a few answers that are brought down on this question. The Metzia himself brings an answer. He says, really, Shach and Chosh Mishpet, Simon Reish Chet, Sivkot and Beis, that anything, that the problem is not the actual Maise. Maise itself is not Asur. It's only the timing of the Maise. So then we don't say that Rechmona said not to do it. Meaning, picking up an item from Shus Rabbim, you're allowed to do it during the week. The only time you're not allowed to do it is on Shabbos. So you're right, on Shabbos this Maise is Asur. But because this Maise is only a time-bound issue, so then the Maise itself does work. And similarly says, the Noida B'Yuda in a Sefer Dogel Mervava on Yerideo Simen Yud Aleph, that a person who shechts on Shabbos, the shchita is a good shchita, says the Dogel Mervava, why? Because it's something that you could have done not B'Yisur. You could do it during the weekday. So it's only Asur because of this day, because of Shabbos, that doesn't make it a Maisa, which doesn't work. Rav Kiva Eger speaks about this question in a few places. One of the places is, and the Tshuvas Madur Kamo Simen Kuv Chovtes. And there he brings two answers to this question. Answer number one is, that when do we say, whatever the Torah says not to do doesn't work, is if you say it doesn't work, so nothing happened. For example, the Gemara in Tumur speaks about someone who goes and does a Tumur. He exchanges an animal which is kodesh with another animal. So if we're holding there that it doesn't work, the pshat is, the Torah said not to do it. So if a person does it, it won't work. So nothing happened over here. If the Torah says not to do something, and it's not effective, so whatever the person intended to do will not happen. That's when we say, Kol mil sedom achon lo yisavid ovid lo mehani. But if whatever the bad thing that has to happen will happen anyway, it's just a side thing that you want to prevent that we don't do. And that's over here. Over here, this person is picking up a Metzia on Shabbos. If you say that the Kinyan doesn't work, is it still Aveira in Isser Shabbos? Yes, because he picked up something from Shus Rabbim. So he did do a Maise Shabbos. So the Maise Shabbos will be done anyway. You're saying the Kinyan works or does not work, that will not affect the Maise. So that's why I don't say that the Maise is not effective. Meaning, what Rav Kiva Eger's first answer is that the idea of Kol Mil Sed Ovid Lo Behani is a preventive measure. As if the Torah says, how do I make sure you don't do something wrong? I will say that whatever you did doesn't work. But if anyway you'll do something wrong, I don't say that. But then Rav Kiva Eger says another answer. This answer is also brought down in the Noida B'Yuda in the Tshuvas, and Even Hezer Simen Kuv Chavtes. And the answer is, whatever the Torah specified clearly not to do, so then if you do it, it's not effective. But if the Torah did not specify clearly, it just said a general Isser, then it's not going to stop something from being Chal. So say the Noida B'Yuda and Rav Kiva Eger, the pshat is, when we have Isser Shabbos is lo yisaseh kol melacha. It's a Isser klali. Don't do melacha at all. It's not specific for every melacha. This ties in very nicely to this week's parsha. And beginning of Parshas Vayakel, there's one melacha in Shabbos that Torah specifies. Lo yisevaru eish b'chol moshri seichem b'yom Shabbos. Don't light fire. So the Gemara already asks, why is Eish stand alone? And the Gemara gives drushas. What is it coming to teach us? The Ramban in the beginning of this week's parasha says, based on the Medrash, to the Pashup Pshat, what it's going to tell you is you would think that maybe you can cook in Shabbos like you can cook in Yom Tov. It's going to tell you not only you can do any malach at Shabbos, also cooking, also Eichel Nefesh you're not allowed to do. It's really part of the generic Isser. Don't do any malacha, even Meleches Eichel Nefesh. So Shabbos is a Isur Kloli. Isur Kloli, you don't say, Yovid Loi Mehani. And Kivegi goes on to explain a little bit more, because we know that part of the details of the Isur Kloli will happen. For example, the Torah says not to build a house. If a person builds a house, is the house built? Yeah, obviously. So part of the Yisur Lo Yisasa Malacha cannot affect the building. So also it can affect things that have to be chal, like a Kinyan. Because part of it is going to happen anyway, so also this part will happen. Maybe you can add a little bit more, Pi Machshava. Because part of the idea of Kol Milsa Omar Achwan Lo Savid, Yovid Lo Mehani, the reason why it doesn't work, is because Istakel B'Raiso Bar Alma. Because Baruch Hu created the world based on the Torah. Whatever is prohibited in the Torah, so to a certain extent, it doesn't exist here in the world. If the Torah specifies clearly, this is Asur, so this thing doesn't exist. But if the Torah doesn't specify something specific, just as in general, Melachas should not be done, then you don't consider that to be not written in the Torah, or written in the Torah as something which is not here, to say it doesn't exist in the world. So to summarize, we have three answers why someone picks a Metziah and Shabbos, there's a Kinyan. Either because doing a Kinyan is not also always only on Shabbos, or because saying there's no Kinyan will not prevent the Isser of Shabbos, or because it's a Isur Klali and not an Isur Prati. All the Ma'amikoimis are in the attached source sheet. Anyone who wants to join the Shomachshava email list to Hotzugo, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.